sort of how Teamzy, I think, fits in with what we're doing. Hey, everybody, and welcome Letitia for the first time. What's up, Letitia? She can hear me? Okay. All right. Obviously, you guys know Tim is our leader. Tim has been in the industry for 30 years. He's developed all kinds of tools for network marketers. One of the tools was the performance tracker, which I've shown you was basically, it's a piece of paper that you would print out every day and mark your points down as far as the number of leads you generated, the number of calls, the number of appointments, number of presentations, that kind of thing. And then you tally the points at the end of the week to get your stats. And that helps to sort of gauge your level of activity and help determine your level of success in the business. And for the longest time, Tim has wanted to create an app to do this, right? It wouldn't just be so much easier if we just had it on our phone. We wouldn't have to, record it and take a picture and text it to our accountability partner, all that stuff. So Tom, who's on the call, had told me about Teamzy a couple months ago. And I was delighted to find out that Ariix's philosophy, the way that they approach the business is really, really similar to Tim's. And that's sort of unusual, I think, for the network marketing industry, because it's taught wrong almost everywhere. And I would, Tim, for me, when I learned about Tim's training, it was a breath of fresh air because it was totally different than anything I'd ever heard before. And then when I tuned into some of Ariix's videos, he was saying the same exact things, and I was just like, okay, this is great. There's a lot of overlap here, and so let's dig in and let's give this thing a try. So that's kind of how we came about this whole thing. So Ariix has been gracious enough to come on the call and give us a training on how it works from the man himself, and so I'm excited to be here and to learn. So Ariix, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here with you all and from all over the world, which is great. I'm coming to you from San Diego, California. And okay, so here's what we want to do. I'm going to teach you guys about Teamzy, but I'm also going to give you just a little bit of the system Teamzy's built on and some of the philosophy behind it so that you really understand how to leverage it the most. I am going to try to cram as much into this time we have together as possible. It may feel like you're sipping water through a fire hose. I apologize in advance. We are recording this though, so you can always go back and see pieces if we're going too quickly, but definitely be ready to take some notes as we go. I will also do a full Q&A when we're done. I'll stay on if you guys have questions. I'm happy to do that. I'm going to leave you the ability to unmute yourselves. So if the spirit moves you and you can't wait till Q&A, it's okay too. We'll work through that, but let's dive right in. Okay. All right. And Nick, I don't know if you saw it, looked like Tim was coming in the waiting room.
Yeah, I see him right there. Great.
Okay, great. So this is what I want to talk to you about first, how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. I know it's a mouthful and I'm a fan of long titles. I am the anti-marketing person, Nick, but I want you guys to know everything we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a system that you can follow, you can plug into, that you can easily duplicate with downline. They don't have to be a wizard at marketing like Nick to follow this system. And it's based on building relationships. And we're going to do it all in less than an hour a day. Pretty cool, right? All right, so let's dive in. Just a little backstory on me. My background is actually not in direct sales. I come from the industry of business coaching and consulting. I've been a business consultant for 20 years now, helping people build businesses based on relationships. Basically taking burnt out business people and helping them enjoy their business again. I fell into the direct sales arena about 7 years ago by accident. I honestly just found a side hustle for myself. How many of you guys are working a side hustle for yourself? Yeah. What a great opportunity. You can create a business with zero investment and go for it, right? And so I was really excited about the opportunity to create a little something extra. Here's a shot of the family here. I was struggling because I was constantly working and never seeing my family. Anybody relate to that? I was always working. I used to see my kids in their pajamas in the morning when I left, and they'd be back in their pajamas when I got home in the evening. And I knew that something, also I wanted to make some more money. Can I get an amen on that one? I wanted to make some more money. It's not cheap here in Southern California. but I just couldn't figure out how to do this. I couldn't figure out how to actually enjoy my family, make more money. I mean, there weren't enough hours in the day, right? And so as I started my side hustle, I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I leverage just a little bit of time to really be effective and efficient in that time? So I started looking for some technologies to help me um, leverage that time, you know. And what I found was that our industry was terribly unsupported by technology. And so I got together some people smarter than me, took them to a pizza and pitched Teamzy to them, and with some chicken scratch and a notebook. And the next thing we know, we had Teamzy. And just to kind of give you an idea of what's happened in just under 5 years with Teamzy, we launched this. You know, we're not backed by some big tech company, right? We're a homegrown company. It's privately owned, no debt type thing. 5 years ago, we launched with a text message to 20 people I knew. And in that time, we've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which has been amazing. And probably the best compliment to us has been all the people who've tried to knock off Teamzy and who have since gone out of business in 5 years. I think always that's the best, right? All right. And just to kind of give you an idea of results, active users, people using Teamzy, and this is average across all networks, guys. So it may be even better for Ariix once we get going with you guys. Active users are averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits added over 90 days. So 21 new customers and 9 recruits added over 90 days seems to be the average, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's dive back into the content. What is relationship marketing? Have you guys heard this term? It's sort of turning into a buzzword, and that means that most people are getting kind of the wrong idea of what it is. So let me kind of make out a little definition for you. First off, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Okay, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Have you guys bumped into people who are skeptical or jaded a little bit about our industry? Yes, because it's been taught for so long to put the sale ahead of the person, and people feel like there's a target on their backs. So we're going to flip that around, put the people first. Also, this is not some abstract feel-good concept, right? We're not going to hold hands and sing at the end. We could if you guys want, but that's not my plan at this moment. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. It's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next, which means you can duplicate it too. And the last piece I want to really mention on this is that relationship marketing is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system, okay? And that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. Why am I giving you this business school definition of what we need? Is because you guys are business owners. And the first job of a business owner is to choose which lead generation system you're going to employ in your business, because your business is generating leads. You're in the lead generation business. It's a mindset shift. You may think of yourself as a salesperson or a recruiter, but you're in the lead generation business. Okay, now the next piece of this with relationship marketing is this principle. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. So your job is to generate leads, in other words, meet people, so that you can build relationships with them. And all the people you've met in the sum total of your life up till now, your job is to deepen those relationships. I want you guys to understand, if you can focus on building and deepening relationships, you're going to have an awesome business. It's going to continue to grow. Does this make sense? Now, of course, there's more to it. But that's the fundamental foundation of it. And why do we focus on relationships first? Because we turn relationships into advocates. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. An advocate, you guys, is somebody who is so excited about what you're doing. They're so excited about the mission that you're on that they want to help you. They want to introduce people to you. They want their friends and family to get the benefit of what you do because they're fired up about your mission. And I want you guys to understand, this is something that is missed so much in our industry, that people who are not interested in buying your products or joining your team can still be your advocates. In fact, I operate on the assumption that everyone I talk to about my business will be my advocate.
That's so huge, Ariix. It's like a mind blown, right?
This is huge, because you may have people go, no, I don't need what you have. I don't have the problem that you solve, but I know people who do. Does this make sense? Just like I assume everybody on this call today is going to leave here going, Teamzy's cool. Even if I leave direct sales, I'm going to tell everybody in direct sales they need to go to Teamzy. I'm already under the assumption you guys are going to leave this call my advocates. And when you go into the world and connect with people and love on them, as we're going to teach you today, they'll become your advocates too. You'll have an army of advocates that's much bigger than your team. Does this make sense? And this is how you can build a business that's huge without having to beat the bushes forever and deal with burnout, right? And
I'm
all of
already
that.
an advocate.
You got one? Already building one. Good. I love it.
I'm already an advocate.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Next principle here, you guys. This is an important one. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Okay. And a lot of what's been taught in our industry makes us feel like jerks, right? It makes us feel disingenuous sometimes. The technical business term I like to use is icky. Makes us feel icky, right? I know we've got folks from like Australia and UK. Is icky universal? I just need to know, because sometimes I'm told I'm very American the way I talk. So I think icky's universal, right? We feel icky. Relationship marketing depends on trust. So the good news is, if you want to build an integrous business, never want to feel like you're doing something disingenuous. You don't have to. There is a way to approach this business. And I believe it's received better. I believe it has better impact and better effect. So let's keep going. Here's the cool thing. When there's trust, it's fun. Trust makes the work fun. You don't have to sell people. You don't have to convince people. You just can get right to helping them, which is why we're here, right? Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. As you build trust, no one feels icky. You can have a straight up conversation about what their needs are and what your products do. And there's nothing weird. Does this make sense? And you get to go for yes. You get to go for yes. Instead of this concept of, I'm just going to ask everybody, even though most of them will reject me, I'll get some. We build up everybody. Yeah, we'll still get some, but we're building advocates with everyone else. Does this make sense? And how many of you guys are averse to rejection? Let's be honest. I fear rejection, right? Now, I have learned to deal with a certain level of rejection, but I'm like my kids. How many of you guys have kids? And when you have kids, are smart about avoiding pain. Like we're just the same way. I try to avoid the pain. So that's why this whole system exists. So I don't have to get rejected. It works without it. Okay. So let's talk about how to build a trust quickly. And then I'll dive into the tool and show your way around there. There's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. And I'm teaching these just really quickly. And I know it's just surface, but I want you guys to kind of get the idea of what we're going to be doing with the software. We want to be building trust systematically with people over time. And so there's 4 ways to do it. 1 is chemistry, 2 is character, 3 is competence, 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. And I misspoke a moment ago when I said there's 4 ways to do it. You need all 4 of these ingredients. They're all essential. They work together. All right. So let's just talk about these quickly, because some of these are pretty basic. I think you guys get them just as soon as you saw them. But chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Here's the fundamental principle. People want to do business with a friend. People want to do business with a friend. So your first job is to build rapport. Find out what you have in common. Ask some questions. It's amazing how you have something in common with everybody, right? Everybody. And I think that we've been so wound up culturally, and I mean this globally, to look at how we're different, that we forgot how much we have in common. Does this make sense? And so you guys are going to be the connection point for all kinds of different people in your business. You're going to be the one thing they have in common. So find out what you have in common with people. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Notice this definition. There's something different about this definition than what you may typically think of as character. See, we think of character as something that we have. It's like the sum total of all that we've been. But that's not true. You don't have character. Character is something you do. It's a constant and conscious choice that you make. And people want to do business with someone whose character they feel good about. And how do they know your character? Because you told the truth in 3rd grade when it was hard? No, they know your character based on how you're demonstrating that you care for them right now. And so I want you guys to think about this. The number 1 marketing tool is demonstrating your care. How are you communicating with your prospects? How are you following up and serving your customers? How are you posting on social media? Is it all self-centered, Or is it about the audience, the followers? Is it about bringing value to their lives? How are you showing up in the world? How do you treat service people? Do you treat them well? Are you a good tipper? Do you drive as a courteous person on the highway? Do you return the shopping cart from the parking lot? Right?
Yeah.
I laugh because that's just a personal crusade. I'm trying to improve that. Nick, every time I teach this, I want people to return the shopping carts. Eventually that'll make my life better. The
Noted.
point is,
That's good.
the point is character is what you're showing the world. And when people feel good about your character, they do not hesitate to do business with you. Does this make sense? Not only that, as we'll talk about briefly here today too, they will be really excited about introducing friends and family to you because they know your character. Make sense? Okay. Number 3. Oh, the last piece is that you're relatable. This is important for you big shots with big teams. You got to stay relatable. You got to stay in your original story. You can't just show that you went off on a private jet for a holiday. You got to remind people how it was when you were starting. You have to stay relatable to people. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
If you have a before and after photo, you got to keep those embarrassing before photos constantly in your social media stream. People need to relate to you. This is important. That's part of your character. Okay. Competence, number 3. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So there's 2 pieces to this in our business. The first piece is, why should I become your customer? I have a lot of reps to choose from. Do I believe that you know what you're doing? Do I believe that you can actually help me with my problem? Right? Do you understand how your products work? Do you understand what they do for people? Do you have some stories of people like me that have gone through something I'm going through, right? I need to feel good that you know what you're doing, especially if I've known you since the 3rd grade and I've seen your pants on backwards, right? How do I suddenly believe that you are competent in these new products or these new systems? So it's important that you demonstrate your competence. And if you're brand new, I know there's brand new people on the call today, right? So you guys, your job now is to become competent. Start learning about the products. Start, getting stories from other people on the team who have more experience. How did this help this person? Or how does this help in this situation? Start collecting and curating those and share your journey. Every time you learn something cool and interesting, post it on social media, put it in your stories so people see you growing in competence. Does this make sense? I mean, I sold weight loss and health, and I was the overweight guy that smoked, right? And so I had to change my brand. It took a while for people to realize that I was into health and fitness and nutrition. I had to teach that. I had to demonstrate that competence as I grew it. Does this make sense? But the other piece of this, and well, let me talk about both pieces of competence and I'll get into this point that's on my mind. The second piece is, why should I join your team? Well, do I believe you can mentor me to be successful in this business? Right? How can I trust you as a business person? And again, maybe you're not yet. Maybe you're brand new. Right? But as you guys grow, you need to, again, share the journey. Man, I just won a free backpack this month because I helped 3 people, or I got a quick start bonus, or wow, I earned a free vacation. I can't believe it, right? So as you hit those milestones, share them so people see that you're winning in the business, right? But at the same time, here's what I want to encourage you guys that are new or you don't have a lot of things to share yet, is you need to, first off, do not fake it. Do not pretend ever to be something you're not. And if you ever hear someone say, fake it till you make it, tell them to go read Zig Ziglar's books and understand what that means. Fake it till you make it means when you're not feeling positive, have a positive attitude anyway. Doesn't mean to pretend you're something that you're not. And because remember, this is all based on trust. As soon as you do something that's not true, it's over for you. It's not going to work. People won't trust you. So what do you do when you need to look more competent than you are? You share your team's competence. You let people know you're part of a winning team. You talk about people on your team, your mentors, your inspirations, the people who are helping you. You let them know that when they join you, they join them. Does this make sense? I had a mentor who was a big baseball fan. I don't know if we have any baseball fans on this call, but I'm guaranteed to offend you with this story. So please don't take it personally. But my mentor used to talk about the New York Yankees. So you either love those guys or hate them. At the time, the Yankees were the most winningest, I don't even know if that's a word, but the most winningest team in history. And this is the story he used to say, is that when you are a no-name rookie drafted onto the New York Yankees, you've never done a thing in your career. But when you put on the uniform, you're a New York Yankee. You are now a champion the second you join the team. And that's true for you guys too. You need to understand that you've joined a winning team. So it doesn't matter if you're a rookie. You need to let people know you're part of a winning team and start telling those stories. Does this make sense? Chemistry, character, competence. Real quick principle behind these, and then we'll jump to number 4. When someone's going to do business with you, you guys, they only care about these 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, this is really, I wish I could spend an hour just on this principle because it'd be fun. It'd be a fun training. But let me just give you guys the fast forward of that training. If somebody believes yes, you've got all 3 of these, yes, 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 you've got an advocate. That's an advocate. If somebody believes no to any one of these, they'll never do business with you. And they're likely to tell others to avoid you as well. If they're not sure, they'll raise objections. Do you guys ever get objections? Now, it's okay to get objections. Objections are good. Objections are great. Objections mean I'm close to letting you help me. You just got to get me over this hump, right? But the point is that gives you kind of a barometer of how your relationship is. Over time, as you invest in people and build trust, they'll know these 3 things are yes, and you'll have an advocate. Make sense? All right. Number 4, consistency. Yep. All this is great, Ariix. Oh, you mean I have to go do this work consistently? Yes, you got to be consistent. Nobody's successful without consistency, right? We have to be consistent products of our product. We got to be consistently sharing on social media. You can't, by the way, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but you're not going to be successful in this business by keeping your business a secret, right? We got to let people know. I love this principle. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. What does this mean? It means not only does being consistent build trust, because people don't believe, hey, guess what, guys? I started Ariix, so I'm going to be a millionaire. Sure you are. Sure. Yep. Right? So the consistency builds the trust. But also the thing about consistency is people respect it. They want to be around it. It's a magnet for people. People want to be around it. People love being on teams full of other people being consistent. They want to be in an environment of other chargers and runners because they suddenly feel like they're being held up and encouraged by a community of people doing something cool. This is why when you guys do this for a little while, you'll start getting these messages like, I just wanted to tell you, your posts are so inspiring. I'm always inspired by what, really? I'm inspiring. What is it about us that makes us inspirational? It's consistency. I just want you guys to know it's so huge. Now, let's talk about consistency real quick. We talked about things that you've got to, some of you guys who are brand new, I threw a couple of things out there like, so let me just slow it down. So you make sure you get these. You got to be a consistent product of your product, right? You got to be using your product. It's part of your life now. You got to love it. You got to share people. You got to be sharing on social media what you're doing and what you're learning. Those are important. They're crucial. But the real checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar used to say, the real important piece to this is this question that's on the screen. Are you consistent with your relationships? Because building relationships is the key to the business. Are you consistent with your relationships? And are you as consistent about staying in touch with your relationships as, say, posting on social media? Now, I have to tell you, some of you guys who are new, you're going to get some low-hanging fruit off social media. You're going to be very excited about it. In the very beginning, it's like you throw up some posts and you start getting some sales and it's like, wow, this is cool. But it's hard to sustain that. It's hard to sustain that. And this is why relationship building is a contact sport. You have to be in regular contact with people to build relationships with them. And I know your time is scarce, which is why we built Teamzy. I'm going to show you guys it's less than an hour a day. This training will take you longer than a power hour ever will. Okay, but hopefully it'll be time well spent. Here's a principle on this, and this is a really important principle for me to teach you guys, and we'll jump into Teamzy. Here it is. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, real quick, guys, let me just look at your faces for a second. All right, let's see here. Great. And if you've got clothes on, throw your cameras up, turn them on so I can see you. All right, just a quick question. I always have to do Nick's laughing, but I've done a lot of these Zooms and You'd be surprised what you see in the background. Okay, so quick question for you guys. Just an example. How many of you have ever received like a great card or letter from someone you love that had that handwritten message in there that when you read it just melted your heart? Anyone? Yeah, of course. Yes. Okay, good. So now that you're thinking about that, did you keep it? Did you save it? Do you have, how many of you guys have a stash somewhere of cards or letters where you've, yeah, everybody does this, right? Everybody does this. Excuse me, my voice. So we all do this and it's amazing, right? And I know we've got people in Canada, Australia, UK. I mean, people are people. We all have the same hearts. All right, so here's another example. Have you ever received something like this? This is a happy birthday postcard. This is a marketing piece, right? Happy postcard. This is from my life insurance sales representative. And every year I get one of these from him. And it says happy birthday. And there's a little message printed on the other side. So have you ever received something like this from somebody you do business with? Or yeah, okay, great. Did this go in the special place? Did you save this? No, this is tossed pretty much immediately, right? Why does this
Goes
happen?
in the round file.
It goes in the round file, right? I actually have, so I live in Southern California. So we enter our home in our car. A lot of you probably do the same thing. We drive our car into the home, shut the garage door, right? So in my garage is a recycling bin next to my driver's side door. So when I get the mail, half of it doesn't even get into the house, right? Why does this have no value? Now, just really quick, let's talk about that principle. If you want to deepen a relationship, what do you need to do? It requires an investment of time and a personal connection. This required no time, so we put no value on it, right? We put no value on it because he didn't invest any time, and it's not personal. This is a bulk mailing. Doesn't even have my name on it, by the way. It says happy birthday to you. To you. You know who you are. Impersonal, no investment of time. We do not value it. Doug says it goes in the round filing cabinet, right? The round file. So,
Eric,
yeah.
I get one of those every year from the guy that sold us, the mortgage broker who sold us the last house we lived in. We haven't done business with him in 5 years.
Yeah, it'd be much nicer for him to text you every once in a while and say, how are you enjoying the home? Right? Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I'm not telling you guys that you need to be handwriting letters to people all day long. However, I will tell you that if you can have a reason to write somebody a note, you should do it because they will most likely save it forever, right? That's a marketing piece they will save forever. So go to moo.com or something and order some cool note cards that are blank that have Ariix on the back and your name and have those ready because people will save them forever. It's amazing. But here's what I want you guys to understand. I'm going to show you how we're going to use Teamzy to invest time and connect with people personally. Okay. It's going to be, we've made it so efficient that it only takes a few seconds, but the perceived time investment is huge. It's huge and it makes a big impact. Now, the reason why this is such an important thing for me to talk to you guys about is I want to just kind of mention the concept of marketing automation. Marketing automation is a hot thing, and there's a lot of cases where it's really effective for businesses that can churn through a ton of leads. But marketing automation for the end user feels like this. It's impersonal. It was automatic. It required no time. Does this make sense? Now, if you guys want to get the maximum impact in your business, building a team, building customers, it's connecting with people one-on-one. So how do you connect with lots of people one-on-one efficiently without, your hair being on fire, busy all the time? That's what I'm going to show you with Teamzy. Does this make sense? Okay. Now, real quick, I think I'm on my last slide. So there's that concept. Investing time, connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. And this is all great. I mean, you guys seem to be enjoying this philosophy, but this is the point. You got to have a system. You can't just have philosophy. You have to apply it into a system. You need a way to stay in contact with all your relationships. Know when to contact them. So you're not, spending too much time planning, right? Know what you're going to say. So you're not staring at your screen trying to think of the perfect message. How many of you guys, that's you? That was me. It's called analysis paralysis, right? And you want to make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. In our industry, 80% of the qualified leads fall through the cracks. Isn't that insane? 80%. 80%. All right. So let's get on here in Teamzy real quick. So first off, if you're not using Teamzy yet, you can go to teamzy.com. It's spelled Team Z-Y. Teamzy.com. You can start a free trial. And we have a custom version for Ariix. Okay. I'm going to go into it right now. Okay, let's see here. All right, you guys see me on the screen? Okay. So this is the first page of Teamzy. When you log in, you'll see me. So now you've seen me in person, you'll get to see me on video. Just a little welcome. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the setup wizard. Now, Teamzy is a CRM. Have anyone heard of CRM? Stands for Contact Relationship Manager. It's a type of software. Most people who use CRM hate it. It's like a giant electronic filing cabinet that's annoying to salespeople. But I want you to know we built this to be fun, and that's why people who use Teamzy don't even know it's a CRM. And you don't have to be technical to do this. You just do this. I've got these big, we call them clobber buttons. I had this guy I used to work with said clobber buttons. I want to feel like I can hit a button with a hammer and it'll work. So we've got big clobber buttons. We've made it really simple to set up Teamzy. You just follow these steps. Now I'm going to show you how to do this really quick. The first thing I want you to see is this page. We're going to set an income goal. How much income do you want to be earning? How much income do you want to be earning? And so this goal is 12 years into the future. So 12 years from now, what do you want your income to be? So you can see I set my goal for 150,000. Now you can slide it up or down. Okay. Slide it up or down. Now, when you move it,
I'm sorry, 12 months, right?
12 months into the future. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good.
So this will be your income level 12 months in the future. Now, when you move this, it changes what you need to do every day to hit it. See, we've been doing this long enough, 20 years experience, that we know exactly what you need to be doing on a daily basis to hit your goals. Isn't that cool? There's no more wondering. So now you'll know, hey, if you set a goal for $100,000 in a year and you find yourself consistently falling short on hitting your targets, guess what's going to happen in a year? It's not going to be a surprise, right? It's not going to be a surprise that you didn't hit it, but you can know what to do and you can go for it. So right now at 100, wait, I want this 150 because that's my number. I had set my goal. I wanted to leave my job. I made about 150 a year at my job. I wanted to leave it. So my goal is 150. That makes sense, right? I wanted to be home. So Teamzy's telling me that to get there in a year, I need to connect with 9 prospects, 6 of my customers, and 4 representatives on my team each day, 5 days a week. You guys with me? Doesn't seem that hard. 19, what is that? 19 people. No big deal. Now I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. So we'll click next once you've set your goal. Now, just real quick thing on this. If you're already working the business and you've got a significant income, you're going to set the goal for the difference you want to see in 12 months. Does that make sense? A good friend of mine who has a very large team, he goes, Ariix, Teamzy has me doing like 4,900 connects a day. I said, what was your goal? And he told me, I said, okay, how much do you want to grow it next year? You know, he's like, I just want to grow it 100 grand. Great. So let's change your goal to that. Right. So just so you guys know, you need to do it for the difference. Okay.
Hey, Ariix, can I ask a quick question on that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to do Q&A at the end, but since you had the slider, for someone who's brand new and maybe doesn't have any reps on their team yet, or hasn't even gotten a customer yet, would you say just add those connects over in the left-hand column?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And once we get in, I'll show you how you can adjust those numbers once your Teamzy is set up. So if you're brand new and you've got no reps and you've got no customers, in this case, you would do 19 prospects a day.
Okay.
You would take all 19 and do it on prospects, and then you adjust them as you go, as you build a team. Okay. The next step is we're going to import contacts.
Ariix, I did that, and now I can't remember. I want to adjust my goal, and so I want to change those numbers, and I already moved them over to the left, and I can't find my way back. So be sure and cover that.
Yep, I'll show it to you. So the next step here is we're going to get your contacts into Teamzy, and we want to get you all in one place, organized. No more digging through pads of paper, notepads, sticky notes. Oh my gosh. I used to coach somebody who had a $6 million a year real estate business that was run off sticky notes in a shoebox. I kid you not. Like, this is what we do, right? We create our own systems. Digging through your phone, trying to figure out through Facebook Messenger who you need to message. We get them all in one place, organized. Not only will they be in one place, Teamzy's cloud-based, which means it's in your phone, it's in your computer, it's everywhere you go, right? Not only will it all be in one place, but I'm going to show you Teamzy has an algorithm so that nobody falls through the cracks. You don't have to think about who to connect with today. It's just going to tell you who to connect with automatically, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to launch our Teamzy. It's really cool too, because you can put like, you can import all your Facebook friends into Teamzy. You know, so for some of you who are like, I don't really know who to connect with, but you've got a Facebook account, you can immediately have people you can start messaging, which is pretty cool. Okay, so here's our Teamzy dashboard, right? And just want to show you a couple things here. I'm just going to scroll a little bit here. You see this area right here where it says today's activities. So today's activities, these are based on the income goal you set. This is what we need to do today, okay? So we made a goal for 12 months, but really all you need to focus on is today. That's it. And there's my 9 prospect goal for connects. 9 connects to prospects. You can see I've got a 0. I haven't done anything yet. 6 customers, 4 representatives. Okay, I've also got a goal to share 3 times, and I'll explain that as we go. But a share is just when you're sharing a product solution with somebody, or maybe sharing the business opportunity with somebody. So my goal is to share 3 times. And the reason why I'm going to share 3 times and I'm starting 19 conversations is because I'm not going to share every time I have a conversation. It's not always appropriate. Does this make sense? I need to start the conversation first and share where it's appropriate. That way I don't chase off people who could be interested down the line once we've connected more, if that makes sense. And then I've also got a goal to add new people to Teamzy. I added Nick to my Teamzy today, so you can see I've got 1 done. Okay, so those are my daily goals. Now, real quick on this, it's an important concept, you guys. If you want to build a business that's big, how many of you guys want to build a business that's big? You've got to have a focus that's small. If you want a business that's big, you have to have a focus that's small. And that's why it's about today, what you're going to do today. Okay. And so you'll see always on your dashboard, it's all about today. If you miss a day, you don't have to make it up. You just need to go in and do today's work. If you guys were working out, how many of you guys exercise regularly? If you miss, we got to get more hands, guys, because it's important, right? I know I struggle with that too. If you miss a workout, do you do 2 the next day? If you miss 3 workouts, do you do 3 on Saturday? How many of you guys have gone a whole week without working out? Do you do a 7-hour workout on Sunday? Of course not. It's just about getting back into today's work. Make sense? Okay, so I just want you guys to know that. Now let's talk about this real quick. Teamzy is a full CRM, which means if I go over to the team page, you'll see all my contacts are here. On the right, I have all of my conversations, the name of their dog, all the information stored there, right? Filing cabinet. But what Teamzy does that's really different, if I go back to the dashboard, is it has this power hour area built into the dashboard for you. So in other words, you never have to go to the filing cabinet. I mean, it's there if you need it, but you never have to go to it. This is what I want you to imagine, having this amazing assistant who comes in every night while you're sleeping, goes through your files, and puts on your desk who you need to connect with today. That's what Teamzy is doing for you. So if you look right now at this power hour, I've got 4 lists: prospects, customers, representatives, and my follow-ups list. They're automatically filled. Teamzy's telling me who's up next. The right-hand side is where I log the activity as I go so that it's tracked, right? Tracking. It's important. You got to track what you're doing. And that way, the tracking is important because not only does it let you know that you're doing the activities you need to be doing to be successful, but it also lets Teamzy know when's the next time you want to contact that person, so nobody falls through the cracks. Make sense? Okay, so just really quickly on this, because I don't have time to go into every detail, but the way this works, the way it prioritizes people on these up next lists is based on a simple rating system: 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars. You guys get that, right? 5-star system. So your best people will be 5 stars, your favorite people, your best friends, and they'll show up first. They come back automatically every 30 days. 4-star people, they'll come up after the 5-star people, and then they come back every 60 days. They cycle through at a different rate. 3-star people, which will be about 80 to 90% of everyone you know, will be a 3-star. They show up every 90 days, okay? And then 2 stars, even colder, every 120 days. So the stars determine how their priority for coming up and how often they come up. This is important. Have you guys heard of the 80-20 rule? So in our case, what that means is that 80% of your business will come from 20% of your relationships. Those are the best people. Now, in the beginning, you may not know who they are, so you're going to just do it from the gut, right? You can always change the rank as you go. But it's important because we want to spend more time with the best people. It's like a tree that's full of fruit versus a tree that has no buds. Okay. So what do we do with the tree that has no buds? Once we're done getting all the fruit from the tree full of fruit, we're going to go over and water and fertilize that other tree, because down the road it will have fruit. But we need to first go to the tree that has fruit falling on the floor. Make sense? Okay. So now that we got that explained, let me show you to do a power hour really quick and then we'll get to Q&A. So when I come into Teams, you just log in, it's ready to go. First person on my prospects list, by the way, always work from left to right. Do we have anybody from like the Middle East or Israel, China, anyone like that on this call? Good. So I don't have to tell you not to go right to left. We're going to go left to right. So the first person on my list is Jay. So now what I want to do is I want to message Jay. Now, real quick on this, you guys, relationship marketing is not about sending her a cold message right now about my business or products. I have no idea what's going on in Jay's life. What I want to do is just make her day. Okay. So make her day, write that down. Make someone's day mindset. Get in the make someone's day mindset. One of our Teamzy customers messaged me today and she goes, I came up with a new word I think you should use. This was literally this morning. She said, because I always say a new mindset. She goes, how about a heart set? How about a heart set? I love that. So make someone's day heart set. So it's a heart set and a mindset. So I just want to make her day. Why is it so important to just reach out and make her day? Because my goal is to start a conversation. And if I do something that makes her choose yes or no, I may not like the answer, right? But if I just make her day, she's going to respond. Now we get to have a conversation. Make sense? So let me show you how to do this. People, when we first released Teamzy, people were like, Ariix, you do these trainings, you make it look so easy. I have no idea what to say. So I ended up putting all my scripts in Teamzy for you. They're all there for you. Okay. So the other thing that's cool is you can put your own scripts in as well. So if, after you get going at this, you can write your own and put them in there. But if you go right here to scripts, see where it says scripts right here? You can grab a script. Now I'm going to message her on Facebook. She's my Facebook friend. So let's go there. And you've got a whole bunch of scripts you can choose. I'm going to just choose number 1. And this is what it reads like if you can't see that small print. It says, hi, Jane. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Okay. So you can copy that script by clicking copy script. See, I told you it was easy. And you could go right over to Facebook Messenger and Messenger, but I like to paste it in Teamzy so I can do my editing. So you want to get the right name. Pro tip, when you start a new conversation with somebody, always put their first name in the message. Don't send, hey, buddy, or hey, girl, or anything like that, because then it looks generic, right? And then you're back to this. Okay. I don't know, a couple of emojis. I don't know, little smiley face, however you want to customize this a little bit, right? I like to throw emojis in there so they know it's non-threatening and fun. So I got an emoji. I've got it all set to go. Now what I'm going to do is actually go send this to her. So let me just copy that, toggle over here to Facebook. There's Jay. Send her a quick message. Jay's messaging me my own scripts. So I sent the message. So you guys see how easy that was? Toggle back. Now, of course, if I'm on my mobile phone, it's even easier. The toggling back and forth between those messaging apps is much easier. So I'm going to log this. It was a Facebook message. And then click the big blue clobber button, log connect. Now, what happened? She's gone off my list. Nick's now slid up from position number 2 to position number 1. And if you look at my progress bar, I've got 1 done. This little circle is starting to fill in. You guys see that? So Nick's the next person up. Rather than overthinking, I'm just going to paste that same script right on his profile and change the name. Okay. So once you get into your power hour, it's all about momentum. Oh, that's not you. There we go. Nope, that's not it either.
AU.
Yeah, it's AU. It's okay. I'll just get him right here. But you guys get the idea. There he is. Paste it in. Bam. Okay. Log it. Now I've got 2 done, 7 left. And see how that circle's filling in? So when that's all the way blue, I know I'm done prospecting for the day. Hit my target. Okay. So I'm going to keep going down my list, just sending little make someone stay messages until I hit my target for prospects. That circle will be blue. Then I toggle to the next list, which is customers. Now, just to save you guys the question, which always comes up in the Q&A. By customers, I mean present and past. Okay, past customers, you keep them on this list. Once you buy from me, you're a customer for life. I don't care if you're ordered this month. Okay, and I'm going to treat you like that because people come and go like crazy, you guys. It's a huge volume thing to give up on past customers. They come back all the time. They just, they go on vacation, they get an extra shipment, they cancel. and they mean to come back. You got to stay in touch. Okay, so customers, we're gonna same thing, guys. Customers. Kathy comes up, great. Go to my scripts, grab a customer script. Now these are slightly different. It might be something like, "Hi Kathy, how are you enjoying the products?" Right. So whatever she's using, you put in those brackets. "Please send me an update and let me know how I can be of help." This one is such a great universal one for customers. Send me an update. Let me know if I can be of help. They'll let you know, oh, I have too much. I need to pause, or I need to do this, or I need, right? And so now it's a great conversation to have, to talk more about how they're enjoying the products, or maybe other programs they might need to add in, right? Because of course we want them to start getting new product lines in their households. This is my favorite one though, just to connect with your favorite people that are customers. And it reads like this: "Hi Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day." Okay. By the way, I know we've got people on this call from the UK, so I just wanted to say it's okay to change the word awesome to great. I know the Aussies are fine with awesome. I always have people in the UK going, "We don't really say awesome like that, Ariix." It's like, so just say great. Hope your day is great. Okay. Don't overthink. Don't overthink. All right. To me, awesome is like my baseline. Like I want you to start at awesome and go up from there. And that's just my enthusiasm. So look, I'm going to the same thing, you guys. We'll go this, we'll send her the message, we'll log it in Teamzy, and we'll move on. And you'll see now this pink circle for customers is continuing, is starting to fill in. And so now I'm just going to connect with customers down the line. I don't need a reason. It doesn't have to be about their shipment this month. It's just checking in, just staying in touch. Now, this is super important because customers are a gold mine in our business. And you want your team to understand the same, because ultimately the team volume is what gets us paid, right? And so customers are huge. We want them ordering, we want them staying ordering, we want them ordering more. And here's something I want you guys to understand. Statistical fact. If you're in regular contact with customers, they order more product and they retain longer. They order more product and they retain longer. I talk to top leaders in this industry all the time, and I say, hey, if you can get a portion of your leaders on Teamzy this month, you'll see a 30% increase in volume. Why? Because they haven't been in touch, and suddenly they're in touch and magic starts to happen. Does this make sense? And it's not because the scripts are amazing. Oh my gosh, he's a closer. I didn't, you're not talking to Grant Cardone's closing school today. It's about just being in touch, man, just being in touch. Just think about an amazing restaurant. Best restaurant I ever ate in was a five diamond, AAA five diamond. This is America. We don't have very many Michelins. With AAA five diamond restaurant, I had this amazing meal. It was actually in Bermuda, and the serving staff, there was one for each person at the table. They stood just out of your peripheral vision, like they were behind you, so that they could see everything you were doing, but you couldn't see them. They like positioned themselves. They were present though. They were ever present, right? They were ever present. It was an amazing experience. Okay. So you're going to connect with your customers. Now, the other piece of this, we talked about building advocates at the beginning of the call. And again, I wish I had a lot of time to go into it, and I don't, but I want you to know the best source for new customers. As you're building your business, the best source for new customers are your current ones. Okay. The best source for new customers are your current ones. As you're building relationships with your customers and they're getting a great experience. How many of you guys have at least one customer who's loving it? I know some of you are brand new, so maybe you're that person. People who are loving a product are talking about it, right? People who are loving a product are talking about it. That's what we do. We're wired that way. And the statistic is 82%. 82% of people say they look to a friend or family member for a recommendation before purchasing a product. It's not the marketing, it's not the billboards, not the TV commercials, it's the friend or family member. So you need to understand that your customers are talking to they already have people ready. So you need to be getting introduced to those people. So this is an important reason to be in touch and build relationships. So you could say, hey, Nick, I know you're having a great experience with Slenderize, and you're getting great results. I'm sure you've talked to friends and family member about it. And I just wanted to check in and see if there's anybody you care about who needs more information on this product before I get too busy this month. I want to take care of your people first. He's like, oh my gosh, actually, yeah, I was just talking to my sister about it. Okay, perfect. Would you mind introducing me to her? Just a group text or group email, whatever's the easiest, and I'll get her some more info. I know I did that in 30 seconds. You guys can rewind that piece, but the point is it's about the relationship. And when you're doing this consistently, that kind of conversation is happening a few times a week, right? Now, when Nick says, I've got 4 friends who need information, he introduces me to his 4 friends. Guess what I just uncovered? My next representative. Thank you so much for introducing me to your friends, Nick. I got them all info, talked to a couple of them. Some of them are interested. I think we're going to get them signed up. Before I do, though, I just wanted to ask you, have you ever considered doing what I do? Because you so effortlessly just brought 4 new people into the business. Does this make sense? So I can put them under you and we can get rolling. So customers are a huge source for new leads, the best source. Okay. And just one more last concept on this. I know I'm over delivering. Is, second money is easy money. Have you guys ever heard that term? What that means is when somebody has bought something from you, they are more likely to buy more from you because the first purchase was the hard one psychologically. And this also means that your customers are more likely to recommend people to you in the same way because they're reinforcing their decision. Does it make sense? So it's these people are the people, a customer, even a customer who canceled 6 months ago is such a better lead than a brand new prospect. And it was kind of a revolutionary thing to say because they've already shown and proven their trust. Okay, the last group here are the representatives. Why do we want you connecting with your team? Because personal relationship is the #1 motivator. I just said it like, matter of fact, you guys can go read every social study on workplace motivation that's ever been done. And what they found is that the #1 is personal relationship, connection, community. So we want you to stay in touch. We want them to hear from you periodically. Just let them know you're rooting for them because it's going to help you build retention with your representatives. Does this make sense? By the way, it's also going to make this business fun because you're going to build friendships. So the first half of your power hour, you guys, is just sending those make someone's day messages to your prospects, your customers, and your team members. And again, if you don't have customers and team members, you're going to focus on prospects right now. Okay. So if you had a goal like I did of 150,000, that's 19 messages. Can you do that in 30 minutes? Absolutely. Especially if you're using my scripts. So you just 30 minutes, you've got those 19 messages sent. Now, some people will start responding. Try not to answer them until we're done sending all our messages. Okay. So you don't get sidetracked. Just push them off 20 minutes more so you can get it done. The last list here are my follow-ups. These are my follow-ups. Okay. Now, when you get there, you'll see there's no follow-ups scheduled. They're not automatically done for you in Teamzy. The follow-ups, and I know you guys have Nick, so you're learning really high-level, good marketing from him. The follow-ups, for lack of a better term, this is your pipeline. So we're talking to prospects, we're talking to customers, they're introducing us to people. We're talking to representatives. They've got friends that want to join the business. We need 3-way calls, things like that, right? So we're going to put those people that we're uncovering that have interest, we're going to share something with them and put them on our follow-ups list. So over here, I'm talking to people. We're just building relationship. We're just connecting. I'm learning. I'm asking questions. I'm learning as much about them. Now, when I'm talking, let's say I'm talking to Nick, I send him that message. Hope you're having a great day. He responds, thanks, Ariix. Right now, he's responded. I now have a chance to maybe have a conversation. So my goal is to get him in a conversation, just to message back and forth a little and get something going. Does this make sense? So I'm going to give you guys a little extra. For those of you who struggle with that, I'm just going to give you a little extra text. It's not in Teamzy, but this is like the golden phrase. So when Nick's like, thanks for asking, Ariix, I'm great. And I'm like, okay, that fizzled out really fast. How do I maybe try to engage? This is what I would say. I'd say, well, what have you been up to lately? Send me an update. What have you been up to lately? Send me an update. Now, this little thing, and I'm sure you guys maybe have heard this. You probably got some of this from Tim's trainings. My mentor, Mike Lopez, taught me this idea of don't just ask a question, then tell them how to answer it. That little directive at the end takes away the awkwardness because now it's like, oh, that's easy to do. I'm going to send them an update on what I've been up to. Make sense? What have you been up to? Send me an update. Because then they go, oh, well, little Timmy's playing soccer, and they start telling you stuff. It's comfortable for them. People like talking about themselves that way. And now you have all this information to have a great conversation about. Oh, he plays soccer. What position does he play? How's that going? right? So now you've got a lot of things to ask and be interested in. The most important thing is just to be interested in people. You'll enjoy it, but it'll also open up opportunities for you to talk about the business. So as Nick and I are chatting or whatever, that wasn't the right example, but you get the idea. We're having a chat, going back and forth, and I'm trying to find out what he's doing, and he's giving me an update on his life. Now, what is the most natural thing to do after he's given me his update is for me to give him my update. Does that make sense? Right? It's like if we bumped into each other at the market. What have you been up to? He's going to tell me, and I'm going to tell him. So you're going to tell them what you're up to. And so tell them all the things that are exciting in your life, the highs and lows. And part of that is your new business. Or maybe it's not a new business. Maybe it's just your business, right? And people are always like, Ariix, how do I talk about the business? Oh my gosh, that's where I struggle. How do I talk about business? Well, it's part of your update, right? Did I tell you, my kids are doing this and blah, blah, blah. And, we're in California. We're still locked down. It's super annoying, right? My kids haven't been outside of the house in a year. But, did I tell you about my home-based business? Oh, really? Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been an incredible journey because not only has it given me the flexibility to leave my job and be home with my kids, but it's just been, being able to help people on a daily basis is not something I got to do at work in the past. Oh, wow, that's cool. Tell me more about it. So now you're talking to people about something. It's just natural. This is what I've been doing. Does this make sense? And here's what I want you guys to do. If you write down these two phrases, tell people what you do and why you're passionate about it. Tell people what you do and why you're passionate about it. Okay? Because that is what going to get this response. Oh, cool. Good for you. Wow. That's awesome. Right? Or if you're in the UK, that's pretty okay. I'm just giving you guys a hard time. Okay. And that's what you want. You don't want people freaking out because you're like, oh my gosh, this is a network marketing person. I have to go across the street and run away, which is what they've been trained to do. It's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Good for you. Listen, I'm just going to tell you guys, if you weren't doing network marketing, wouldn't you tell people about your work? Right? Wouldn't you? So, it's so funny. I was at a party a couple of years ago, and I met somebody who has a business. His business is home hospice. That's an intense business, right? Home hospice. And we were just chatting, and I was like, wow. I said, that's got to be tough. He said, it's the most rewarding work I've ever done. And he spent about 5 minutes explaining why he was so passionate about what he does. And you know what? That business never sounded so good to me. Why? Because he's passionate about it. Now, what's going to happen if somebody says to me, I'm really concerned about my loved one. It looks like we're going to need a hospice care. I'm going to say, look, I understand this is a really tough time, and this is why it's important not to mess around. I know somebody who has a business like this, and this guy's passionate about it. I need to does this make sense? You guys, you got to get people excited about what you're passionate about. Okay, look, I know I'm going over here, but this is the point, is when I share with Nick that I'm passionate about what I do, it's going to pique his interest. Now, real quick, look, I do like a 6-week boot camp where we focus on this. I'm giving you guys the 10-second version of it, but depending on his enthusiasm, I'm just going to ask him, yeah, and just let me know, Nick, if you ever want to learn more about it, let me know. Okay. If you ever like to learn more about it, let me know. I'd be happy to send you some info. And a lot of times people will go, yeah, I would kind of like to learn more, So then it's like, great. Well, let's jump, we're messaging. So it's like, great. Well, let's jump on a quick Zoom, or can you jump on the phone? Let's talk for a minute. Let's talk more about it and see where you're at, type thing. Or people will be like, okay, great. I'll do that. Good for you. I'll let you know. No big deal. Because you know what? Teamzy is going to bring you up again in 3 months. I'm going to continue this conversation with you over time. You're going to warm up to it. Does this make sense? What I found happened a lot, though, is that maybe it's just my friends, but a lot of people would make a wisecrack or a sarcastic joke, self-deprecating. You notice that people do that? Like, oh man, haha, LOL. Yeah, I need to get in shape, or I need to make some money, or I need some time flexibility like that. Ha ha ha. And it's like, man, I just want you guys to know that that's the best invitation ever. When somebody makes a joke, go, no, I totally feel you. But all kidding aside, seriously, if you want to talk about it for 5 minutes, maybe I can help. Are you guys with me? Huge, huge. Okay, so I'm talking to Nick. We had a great conversation. It actually turned into a share. We jumped on a call. I talked a little bit. I found out what his issues are, what his challenges are, what his goals are. And I said, you know what? We have a perfect program to help you with this. And here's why. So I'm talking about it. He's all excited. Great. I said, you know what? I'm going to send you an email right now, Nick. It's going to have all the information on that program. It's going to have the links so you can order it. You can get all set up. And he said, perfect. Send it over. I'm going to order it right now. I can't wait. And I say, great. Sounds good. I'll follow up with you tomorrow and see if you have any questions. He says, great. Why do I want to set the follow-up? Because I know there's an 80% chance he's not going to make that purchase right now, even though he just told me he would. Have you guys ever experienced this? Yeah, because we've already been talking 15 minutes. He's got a kid banging, pulling out his pant leg. I don't know. That's my life. But, he immediately he has to go into something else. So he doesn't do it. So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to look him up. I'm going to log that I shared this call with him, right? So we'll go to connect. Let's say it was a Zoom. I like to do Zooms. So I would do video chat and I would put all our notes from the Zoom. I'd log those in Teamzy. And then see on the bottom left where it says share. I'm going to click that because on this opportunity, I actually shared a product solution with them. So I'll click on products. And then when I log this, now notice that it automatically added a follow-up 2 days into the future as soon as I put it on share. Now I'm going to change that to tomorrow because I think you should follow up right away. So put that in tomorrow. And then when I log this, now you can see that follow-up is now on his activity feed as a planned event for tomorrow. If I go back to my dashboard and you look in the Power Hour section, go to follow-ups, you'll see that now there he is and he's due tomorrow. Does this make sense? So as I'm sharing, I put him on that follow-ups list, man, and it'll tell me who's due today. Now, I don't have anybody due today, but tomorrow when I do my Power Hour, I'll message my prospects, my customers, my representatives. I'll go to my follow-ups list. It'll say Nick's due. Perfect. I'm going to send him a message. Now, sending a follow-up, just like sending a connect, it's the same basic idea. You go to scripts and you grab one that's labeled follow-up. You guys, seriously, I've made this so easy for you. And I would recommend starting with number 1. They're numbered in order. Number 1, here's how it reads. It says, hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Make sense? Simple. Now, we do it exactly the same way. Pop it in there, change the name. Okay. You know what's pretty funny is, just so you guys know, like once you've been using Teamzy on your phone a lot, like I have an iPhone. How many of you guys have an iPhone? I know it's like the most popular thing. Once you've been using Teamzy a lot, you don't have to copy and paste the scripts anymore because your phone automatically, you put in hi, you put in hi, Nick, and then it'll go just checking in like I promised I would. Like it auto gives you the words. Yeah, it's like I just send. It's pretty cool. Okay, so look, same idea. So we've got that message. We're going to toggle over to Facebook. There's Nick. He's there already. I don't even have to look him up, which is great. Send him the message. Boom. I send him the follow-up message. Great. Now, when I log this in Teamzy this time, because it's set as a follow-up, it's a little different. So let me show you how this works. It's going to ask me, did that complete the follow-up you had scheduled? So leave that checked. Yes, it does. And then add another follow-up. So now we're going to follow up again, let's say Friday. Okay. So I'll set another follow-up. I can leave myself a note. This is going to be follow-up number 2. That FU stands for follow-up, just to clarify. Okay. And create. Okay, great. So now we're going to complete that. So now that completed my follow-up, and you can see I have a new one due for him on Friday. When Friday comes up, I'm going to go to my scripts and I'm going to grab follow-up number 2. Okay. And it's going to say, hi, Nick, just making sure you got my message and checking to see if you have any questions, or just see if you got my email, checking to see if you have any questions. Okay. Does this make sense? Now, real quick on this, you guys, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So we want to make sure that we keep following up with people. We work so hard to get them to this stage. And then if you follow up 3 or 4 times and give up, you've blown it. So you guys need to understand that 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Some of the new people are like, What have you got me into, Nick? I gotta follow up 10 times. But here's the thing I want you guys to know. Remember, it's not about being an icky salesperson, right? There is a way to follow up 10 times without being annoying. You can do this. There's a way to do it. I'm going to teach it to you really quick, and then we'll do questions. But I want to shift your thinking, because if you're in this business because you truly want to help people and you're excited about it, right? You need to understand that since it takes 7 to 10 follow-ups on average, you're not going to be able to help them unless you follow up that much. Does that make sense? You're not going to get to the point where you help them. So you need to stop thinking about following up as something that could be annoying and think of it rather as an act of love. I know I've got a lot of men on this call. This is probably more men than I've had on a team call in a long time, Nick. It's usually lots of women, but you guys need to be okay with this. Your business is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. Okay. That's what we're going to do with our business. We're going to spread love. Make sense? Okay. So how do you do it? How do you actually follow up 10 times without being annoying, or even longer than 10 times? First off, I want you to know, if you use my scripts, they already follow the principles I'm going to teach you right now. But there's 2 principles for following up without being annoying. Are you guys ready? Principle number 1, don't ask them to do anything in the follow-up. Don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to call you, to message you. Don't ask them, you got an event, they have an RSVP. Don't bug them about that. Don't ask anything of them. Okay. Asking something of them in a follow-up is like asking a teenager to stop in the middle of a video game and take out the trash. They're in the middle of their life. Don't interrupt it. Just be present with them. So don't ask anything of them. Okay. Number 2, some of you are like, or just asking me to stop my video game. You get the idea. Number 2 is, the number 2 principle is, make sure that your message is short and sweet so they can read the entire thing without opening it. Okay. Short and sweet so they can read the entire thing without opening it. Why is this? Because people often don't open messages. How many of you guys don't open messages? Especially if you're in the middle of something, right? Because we don't want to send that read receipt and look like a big jerk, so we don't open it. Your people won't open messages all the time. That doesn't mean they're not looking at them. We have, frankly, an addiction. We have to see who the message is from and what it said, right? How many of you guys get spam notices on your phone when a call's coming in and you screen it and then you go check the voicemail to see what they said? You already know it's spam. We still need to know what it said, right? So they will get your messages. The important thing is that they see your messages, that your messages are demonstrating your care for them. And as they're coming in, seeing these messages, it's actually just, it's helping their subconscious get their head around the change that you represent in their life. Does this make sense? This is why it takes 7 to 10 follow-ups. So you're messaging them, message them. And what will happen is, I would say about most people won't even respond to even the first 5 or 6 messages. Nick was so excited, he's going to buy today. And then nothing, right? Crickets. People get so frustrated by this. Have any of you guys experienced this? This is just, their life is just happening. They're not realizing that time is passing. But what will happen is, you will get a response eventually that says, I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you so much for staying in touch. Really appreciate it. Okay? Because you signing them up is your priority, but it's not their number 1 priority. Does this make sense? So stay with them, love them through the process consistently. And this is why Teamzy gets such great results, even for people that are new, because it's about starting conversations consistently, having great conversations, being interested. And then when people have been shared, you put them on that follow-ups list and you continue following up. You just drip and love on them personally as you go. And what happens is, every single month, people on that follow-ups list will convert. They will convert, and you will just see that consistent result. New people being sponsored, new customers being created, new orders being placed every month, right? 1 hour a day, creating all this energy. Does that make sense? Okay. I know there's a lot that I didn't show you guys in Teamzy, but as you can see, I wanted to squeeze a lot of the training stuff in there too. But let me just open it up. And then if you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer any of those.
Ariix, let me just say thank you so much. This was a ton of value. I thought we were just doing a demo today, and you just over-delivered. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And I know
My pleasure.
I got a lot of good notes, and I know a lot of the folks did as well. I saw people writing furiously, so that's good.
I have a question. It's the one I asked you before, Ariix. I modified my my dashboard because I don't have customers and reps.
Yep.
I do now have reps, and I got to change where I got them.
Yep. So
But
let me show you how to do that.
yeah, okay, good.
It's super easy. Right here on the dashboard, it says edit daily goals. See right there?
Right.
Click that.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to change your income goal. Just click on the big blue button to go to the next screen. And then right here, you can now change them manually. So you can
Okay,
put in whatever
gotcha.
you want in each one. Okay.
Gotcha.
So you can,
Okay.
so
Well,
for those of you guys
yeah.
with nobody, that what you would do is you would put in zeros here, and then you would put your 19 there. Okay. And then just save connects goal right here. Saved. And then when I go back to my dashboard, you can see my goals are now changed. I've got 19 on prospects and 0 on these two. That makes sense? So you can change those as you go. You can also change your shares goal and your ads goal. Now I had default those to 3, but you can change those to whatever you want. Okay. So it's pretty cool. You can customize, you can actually customize a lot of Teamzy if you go to customizations. There's a bunch of stuff you can customize there, but I will tell you that the way we programmed it based on our experience as business consultants, they seem to be the right. Everything's set up the way we would consider optimal. We just, I believe in freedom, so you guys can customize stuff if you want as you go. Anyone else have questions?
Ariix, could you show the dailies really quickly? I see the dailies there. It's super quick, but it's so important.
Yeah. So when we were building out Teamzy, we were like, okay, what are the things that people need to do every day to be successful in this business? Obviously, I've shown you how you need to connect with people, but you also got to be posting on social media every day. And so what we did is just a reminder, it's just a checkbox. Like, did you do that? To remind you, right? Did you do some personal development work today? It doesn't need to be a lot. Hey, did you guys know that if you read for 15 minutes a day, on average, that's 12 books a year?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? And so, that's, it doesn't take a lot to do personal development. And I always tease the guys, especially, I'm like, that's bathroom time, guys. So just put a book in there and you'll get a lot done. Are you using the products? Are your product your product? You need to make sure. We want you doing that, right? We want you doing that because you can't represent something that you're not living out. And then exercise, and people are like, why do I have to do exercise? Because look, guys, all the studies are there. People who exercise are more successful. Who wants to be successful? I'm not saying you need to go crush a CrossFit workout, but just get some exercise and check the box. So these are the 4 things that are essential. Then now you can add new ones. Okay. So you can add dailies, like maybe you want to do a devotional. This is something that I also think is an essential, but so look, I just added devotional. Now, when I go back to my dashboard, now I have devotional. Okay. Meditation, whatever you call it, so you get the idea. You can add new ones, but so those are the dailies. Those are just reminders. The other piece that I didn't mention that is huge is my why. You got to have your why. We put it on the dashboard because I believe this is why people quit the business at such a high turnover rate. It's because they don't have a why. They don't understand why they're doing it. So if you click on that setup right there to my why, it takes you into a little mini training about your why, but also it will, it leads you through this simple process. So there's simple questions. You answer these questions, and they lead you to your why. Why'd you become a representative? Do you have a reason? In my example, I wanted to make $500 a month extra money. That's all. I wanted to save up for a bigger house, $500 a month. That's why I joined. What did you hope to accomplish? I wanted to buy a new house for my family. Why is that important to you? Because we had outgrown our house. Are you guys with me? This is just my story. So you're going to answer these questions. And then I get to number 4. What would achieving this mean for you and your family? Right. And I started realizing it wasn't about a new house. It was about the emotions of not being around my kids, not being around my wife, not being part of the family. And I was fixated on the financial thing and realizing the house was symbolic of home and family, what I really wanted for my family, which helped me create my why. Does it make sense? And so once you put your why statement there and you save it, then it'll be displayed. It'll be displayed on your dashboard so you can read it every day as you get started. pretty cool.
Yeah, Ori had a question.
Is it in the chat or?
Let's see.
Hi,
Ori, go ahead.
Hi, Eric. I put it in the chat because I've got a little bit of background noise going on here.
Okay.
So I'll just mute for a moment, but I can elaborate if you just.
Great. No, I see it. It says, how are your existing customers in the UK and Europe navigating GDPR in respect of using Teamzy as a full-on CRM? Harvesting our warm market contacts from social media and bringing them into this environment changes the context from social to commercial. So we, there's no way to certify a US company with GDPR at this point. There was a way to have certification, and then a court in Europe threw it out. So there's no way for us to get certified compliant. However, Teamzy does, as far as security, it does meet all the requirements of GDPR. So for what it's worth, we don't actually know. I mean, you're telling me you're from the UK, but once you sign up for Teamzy, we don't look at location. So we have no idea where our customers come from, if that makes sense. There's a few countries that, because we use Stripe as our processor, there's a few countries that people were like, I can't get my Stripe to work. And it's like, what country are you from? I'm like, oh, you're on the Stripe blacklist. They don't take money from Stripe because of fraud or whatever. But so I don't know if that helps, but that's kind of our answer right now, which is that we strive to be compliant with the security requirements. But at this stage of the game, there's no way to get certified as a US company. What we would have to do, which is what's like Amazon and stuff has done, is we'd have to go open an office in Europe, right, in order to get a certification, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's helpful. I guess I was thinking, at the moment, I haven't been putting any detailed notes in. I've just been using it as a prompter as to who to reach out to and so on, because of not quite fully grasping the implications that it might mean for me if I start then taking a social contact and then starting to put some commercial narrative around what my interaction with that person.
Yeah.
Because I may have needed to have alerted them to that and sought consent and all that kind of stuff. So I just wondered if any of your UK customers have raised this with you previously.
Well, I mean, I know that if you're connected, like say you're Facebook friends, you don't need to get their consent to message them on Facebook. Right? Correct?
No, nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing in this, but it's about what I do with them in Teamzy is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So Teamzy's got all of its security stuff up to date. No one's, where your data is secure and it's your data. Nobody touches it but you. And if you ever leave Teamzy, you can export your data and take it with you and wipe the account. So it's just like using, though probably much more secure than Gmail. Right?
Yeah.
Because unlike Gmail, we don't read your emails. We don't read what you're doing and then, use that data for other things.
Ariix, I think one of the most important things that Teamzy does, though, is it just gets people into the habit of deepening relationships on a daily basis as kind of a foundational activity in your business, where you store the name of their cat, whether it's in Teamzy or if it's in a paper notebook, whatever works for you. But what Teamzy does so well is just triggering, oh, today it's Tuesday, I need to follow up with Sybil today.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that, except, oh, she popped up in my Teamzy. Maybe all I have on her is her first and last name. And I just know that I pop over to Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. And, the notes are outside there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, GDPR it's really focused on protecting things like passwords and sensitive data, right? But also it's just a taxation device, really made for big tech. It's a way to tax big tech. in Europe and get money from them. They're not looking at us, but you get the idea. So again, just if you want more information on security, you can go to our homepage, scroll to the bottom. You can see we have a page where that outlines all the security that we have in place on the accounts and the data. There's a statement about GDPR there. You can also see, which is much better worded than what I said. And there's, of course, our privacy policy and things like that. So you guys can feel really good about it. Here's the thing I want you guys to know. We, as you can imagine, in 5 years, we've been vetted by the compliance departments of every major network marketing company. And some of them are very lawyered up and try to be very scary. And so we have worked with them to create privacy policy that everyone feels good about, if that makes sense. So a couple of them were very helpful because I was like, wait. Rather than coming at me, let's just have a conversation. Tell me what in an ideal world our privacy policy would look like. And so I had a couple of attorneys from companies help me write it. Got free legal that way. See, they got their win and I got my win. It's all good. You got to figure it out, right? Everything. Yeah. I love. Have you guys ever heard of Marie Forleo?
Yes.
She's great. And she has a book. It's called Everything is Figure Outable. I love that. You know, I know it's a made up word, but I love that. All right. Who else has got a question? Any other questions about Teamzy? Oh, I didn't even mention price.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Kathy.
I was wondering if there was a way to add our own scripts into Teamzy, because I rewrite things and I want to save it.
Absolutely. So you go to scripts. Once you're in scripts, you click on new script right at the top and you can paste it in. Now, this is really cool. A couple things I want you to really be careful about though. When you put in your script, go to tags right here and add what they're for. Is it for prospects? Are you going to use it on Facebook, text? You want these tags so that Teamzy presents your scripts to the right people. Does it make sense? Otherwise, you'll be scrolling looking for yours, if that makes sense. Now, the cool thing is you can add scripts for any reason. You can have, you could use Tim's scripts. You could put them in here and have them ready to use. I'm sure he's got great scripts. The other thing that I love about adding scripts, Kathy, is adding emails. Because you can, if you use Gmail, you can sync Gmail to Teamzy and send scripts automatically to people. You can click on, see one of these is send as email. So you can log an email or send an email. So if you sync up a Gmail account, you can create emails. So for example, I didn't even talk about tags and stuff, but I had a few tags. So let's say somebody buys like the full Slenderize system or is interested in it. I would have an email with all the information about why it's the best thing since sliced bread, maybe a story about how it's helped somebody, my links to purchase, and I would have that saved as a script, right? And I would have it for every program you guys represent. That way, when I'm talking to you, Kathy, and we're having a great conversation, and I'm like, yeah, I really think this would be a great program for you. You know what? I'm going to send you an email right now. I don't have to write the email. And I know all the links are correct. So I'd have all those saved as scripts, and then I would go, I'll send it to you right now. And it's like, wow, that was amazing. Well, I have a system, I'm a pro, right? I have software, right? I'm not working out of a 3-ring binder at the local Starbucks. This is my business. So I'd send you this email and it'd be boom right there. It just saves so much time. And I found that whenever, when I was new and I was writing these emails, I was like, I need to save this somewhere. So originally they had canned responses in Gmail where I had saved them. And then when we built Teamzy, we built that so you could put those in. So that's something that's a huge shortcut as you get going. You may even have as a team, and I don't know, Nick, if you have emails like that already prepared as a team that you share with downline, but if you have email templates that you've used in the past, maybe you guys can talk to him about sharing those with you. Then you can just customize them and save them as templates in your own Teamzy account.
Ariix, is there a way to push those out? Like, can I push that to the team, or they just have to give them, a Word document and they just copy and paste each one manually?
You'd probably have to just give them a document. Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you guys have a Facebook group where you connect, or how do you guys connect?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so you could do a shared document there that everybody can grab scripts from. I've seen people do that. When we built Teamzy, there was a way to push it out, but we actually took that down because it caused more trouble than it was worth. People, So we tried to make we made it easier. It was easier to silo the information.
Good.
Yeah. So
I have a question of curiosity more than anything else. Are you thinking about making that same kind of connection with some people like Proton Mail or any of those where they're encrypted and more secure?
I think by the nature of Proton Mail, I don't think you can do that. But so okay,
Just
so
curious. Just
no,
curious.
I 100% understand what you mean by that question, because I use Proton Mail too. And the thing is that as soon as you connect Proton Mail to any other service, it loses its security. So, for example, I use this I use an app called what is this app called? Use Spark. I use an app called Spark. I'm a Mac and Apple user. Spark is an awesome email program. Some of you may have heard of it. It has all my email addresses go into one Spark account. Spark filters them, puts them in folders. I can get 100 promo emails, glance at them, one swipe, delete them. It's awesome. But like Proton Mail, I can put Proton Mail in Spark, but then it immediately ceases to be Proton Mail. Does that make sense? So
how about putting Spark in the comments here, or in the chat, because I'm a Mac guy too, and I'm looking for some solutions there.
Yeah, Spark is awesome. And it's an app. It's an app you'd get in the Mac store, and you can also have it on your phone. And it really helps you to keep that email box cleaned out. It's awesome.
Okay.
So, and Spark is a free service, $19.95 a month. He already saying is Teamzy. So Teamzy is, you get a 14-day free trial. And then after that, it's actually typically the price is $29.99 a month USD. But we're doing a special right now with Ariix where, and I don't know how long we're going to do it, but we're doing a special right now at that $19.95 per month rate. And just so you guys know, if you subscribe at that rate, you get to keep it. We'll never raise the price on you. We'll raise the price on new customers, but not on you. So you get to lock those in. The other thing about it is that you can also do, like, if you really like, once, let's say you start using Teams a couple months and you're like, I love this. You can pay 12 months at a time and save even more. So it's $198 for 12 months. You save about $40 that way. For those of you guys that are not in the US, your monthly fee will fluctuate because we only deal in US dollars. So when whatever the floating rate is that month is what you'll see on your statement, just so you guys know. I just want full disclosure. So you're like, why is this fluctuating every month? That's just the currency market, right? But you'll be paying $19.95 US a month. So hopefully we'll have you guys in there. Let me give you a couple action steps. I know we spent a lot of time together. Some of you are waiting to see if I have any more nuggets. But here's the biggest thing I'll tell you is, get in and use the free trial if you're not using it. It's a no-brainer. Even if you're brand new, like, you can create some momentum in a couple weeks. What else are you going to do? Make a list on a pad of paper, like we've done for the past 30 years in this business. And then what, right? So get them into Teamzy, start connecting with people. I recommend that you guys work together as success partners, right? Get 1 or 2 success partners is even better. Groups of 3 is awesome. And say, hey, let's do this. Let's do it together. Let's hold each other accountable. Now, what's the best thing to do with a success partner? The easiest way to use a success partner is when you finish your power hour, you screenshot it and message it over to them, which might be the most annoying thing you can do to somebody because they haven't done theirs yet, right? But the good news is that once you get in the spirit of things, it's like, oh, okay, fine, I'm going to go do it. It's amazing what a motivator that is. And you don't even have to get to the 100% on the dashboard. And probably you guys won't get to 100% your first 2 weeks because you won't have all the shares, right? But you'll be like 80% and I'm done. Boom. Look I connected with 15 people, and send that to your success partners. And I will tell you, it is like, because it's so easy to do. Even if it's like 10 o'clock at night that you send it to them, you'd be surprised who could grab their phone off the nightstand and bang out a quick power hour. This question comes up to me all the time. Can we send messages off hours? And I say, yeah, especially if it's like a Facebook message. You can send them off hours. They'll respond when they wake up and log in,
Ariix, I just wanted to say, I've been doing this for about a week now. Typically, I can get through the power hour, the basic stuff in about 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah. And then you've got some extra time to answer messages and do some other
then
stuff.
I turn around and start answering messages. The biggest problem I have is being distracted by the people who are responding immediately. I have to remind myself, don't respond to them.
Yep. Yeah. So one thing that is hard to do. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a couple little tips here. For me, when I first started doing this, I was messaging all day long. It was like, my wife was like, dude, you're like an addict. And she teased me. She said, aren't you supposed to be a business coach? Don't you teach courses on time blocking? I was like, fine. So what I found was, I would do my power hour early in the morning. I have kids, so I would get up early, like 4:35, and get it done before it got crazy in my house. And then I would start responding to messages at a couple of set times. So during my lunch hour, I'd respond to messages. In the evening, I'd respond to messages. So I could do it in like 30-minute blocks, the responses, because I would just sort all my messages by unread and just respond, right? And so that really helps me get control of it. The other thing that I recently did, and I hate to admit that it was just recent, I read this book called Indistractable. It's a good read, by the way, Indistractable. But one of the things that he did, which was amazing, was I set my Mac to do not disturb, and you can actually trick it so that it turns on 5 minutes after it turns off 5 minutes before it starts or something. So it's always on do not disturb. My Mac is always on do not disturb. So I get no notifications whatsoever. That is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. And go through your phone and turn notifications off on every app, except for, I have it for text messages. And I also have it, I'm in Southern California, I also have it for San Diego fire warnings, right? So stuff like that. But it took me a half an hour to go through all the apps and turn off the notifications. Isn't that crazy? Does anyone wear an Apple Watch? The Apple Watch is the most distracting thing in the world. You got to turn off all those notifications. So in Indistractable, they said that it's 90 seconds of focus you lose every time your phone or computer or your watch buzzes.
Wow.
So add that up. Add that up. You could sit for a long training like this with me every day and the time you save from those buzzes. So
yeah, if I did that, my wife would sure be happy.
Well, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do, but it's great. The other thing that I recently did, which was amazing, was I'm not even going to tell you guys to do that, but I deleted some of my social media apps off of my phone completely, so that it's really annoying for me to go log into Facebook and stuff because I have to go through a browser, and it keeps me off it more. So I can just do it when I'm focused. Does that make sense? So, you want to. The whole point of being a power hour boss is so you can have a life outside of this. Get focused for a little bit each day, do the right things with incredible intensity, passion, love, and then move on. Right? So hopefully that's helpful. I should probably get running. I got to get on another meeting here soon, but I hope you guys don't mind that I went a little bit over. I get excited about these things, and I have to kind of give you everything I can.
This is amazing. So round of applause, everybody, for our good friend Ariix. You're on mute, so we can't hear you, but I can see you. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your time and just a tremendous amount of value. And we've got the team on Teamzy right now, and we've got the team report happening.
Cool.
And we're doing a 30-day challenge for the team, and it's just been amazing to see the activity level start to generate and ramp up. And you can already see we've got new folks on the call, so things are happening, and it's exciting.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I will get this recording off to you later today, Nick, once it does its thing. But I appreciate you guys giving me a chance to come into your homes and share this with you. And welcome to the Teamzy family. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ariix.